In the fall of 2022, Dale Hancher, his wife Colleen, and their friend Myrna Germaine Brown were enjoying a warm day on Okanagan Lake in British Columbia, Canada. As the day progressed, off in the distant water, Dale would spot something floating above the surface he couldn't make out. As the three looked on in confusion, Dale told Colleen to grab the camera so they could get a photo. As they got about 10 feet away, Colleen snapped a photo, and the three continued on, puzzled as to what it could be. As Dale later recalled,
"As a boater, I was just looking. Is this something dangerous that needs to be marked so somebody doesn't run into it, like a dead head or something like that? For one thing, the two nodular things are sticking up. Whatever they are, those that are about 3 feet apart. And I've done some research since we took this picture. And it's not a plant. It's not kelp because this is a lake. It's not the ocean. It's not a sturgeon. It's not a dead deer upside down. You can eliminate all these things, but the next question is, what is it?"
As the story gained traction, many in Okanagan Valley would suggest what Dale, Colleen, and Myrna saw was the legendary lake monster named Ogopogo. For centuries, native tribes of the area, such as the Secmawek and the Silt, told stories of a lake monster, which they called Inhahaik. Inhahaik translates several ways, including water god or water demon. In their traditions, and to show reverence to the creature, crossing of the lake demanded sacrificing a small animal. Native lore tells a story of a visiting chief named Chief Timbasket, who failed to show respect. Chief Timbasket refused to sacrifice a small animal due to his denial of the demon creature. As Chief Timbasket took his family across the lake, the monster would attack the family and suck them to the bottom of the lake. Native tribes believed the lake monster was a spirit that inhabited the caves under Rattlesnake Island. As the years passed and more Europeans would settle into the area, one early settler was a woman with impeccable credentials, and she would spot the creature and perhaps give the first valid sighting to the legend. Susan Allen was a renowned Canadian author and pioneer. In 1860, Susan and her family immigrated to Hope, British Columbia. She would then go on to marry John Fall Allison, one of the founders of the town in Princeton in the year 1868. The couple then moved to Silmakin Valley near the Okanagan Lake, and the Allisons were able to establish good relationships with the local tribes. Together, the two had 14 children, and Susan was able to translate many stories from the tribes into English and record many of her memories of that time through several famous literary works. In her writings, Susan recalls in 1872 seeing a large, serpent-like creature that she was certain was a dinosaur. Yet other sightings occurred in the 20th century as well. 15 years earlier, Métis settler John McDougall claimed that as he had crossed the lake in his canoe, he had his horses tied behind him when suddenly the horses were violently pulled under, and McDougall had to cut the ropes to prevent capsizing. McDougall was adamant he had crossed this exact same way many, many times. Lake Oganapan is about 250 miles east of Vancouver. The massive lake is about 84 miles long and between 2.5 to 3 miles wide, with an average depth of 249 feet. The stunning beauty of the area is such that it has attracted travelers and tourists for decades, for activities such as hiking, boating, and camping. Still, within the massive lake lies much mystery. One such mystery lies in the formation of unexplainable waves. For local residents, there is no doubt that the strange disturbance has often been observed and even photographed on the surface. It appears that when the lake is otherwise calm and there are no boats on the water, anyone who has seen this phenomenon knows that the wave they are seeing is no ordinary wave. Exactly what causes this disturbance is a matter of debate. It may be the result of underwater currents, rising gases, seasonal overturn, or changing temperatures in the lake. Still, in this massive, mysterious lake, the biggest question lies around if there is indeed a lake creature residing there. Although the older reports from Native Americans and Susan Allison provide support for the existence of Ogopogo, the modern reports and wide variety of reports, many with videos and photographs, provide even more support the monster does exist. In 1968, Arthur Folden was driving on Highway 97 when he noticed something moving in the lake. He pulled off the road and filmed what he believed was footage of the creature, and it showed a large wave moving across the water. Folden estimated that Ogopogo was 300 yards offshore. Many sightings would occur in the 1980s, with a reward being posted as well. In 1980, around 50 tourists watched an alleged Ogopogo for about 45 minutes off a beach at Kelowna. There, Larry Tall, visiting from Vancouver, shot some 8mm film capturing the beast for around 10 seconds. In 1989, John Kirk reportedly saw an animal which was around 35 to 40 feet long and consisted of five sleek, jet black humps with a lashing tail. He believed it to be traveling at around 25 miles per hour. Sightings continued through the 90s and the 2000s with additional reports. One report of particular interest was that of Sean Valoria and his girlfriend in August 2008. Valoria and his girlfriend, Jessica Wiegers, were sitting on the lake shore of Peachland as she noticed a disturbance in the water. Sean, an experienced photographer, snapped one photograph, but then, unfortunately, his camera died, and he wasn't able to capture more. Sean never publicized this or spoke of it much, but he did describe the creature as having black hump-like ridges. Surprisingly, 8 days later, south of the original sighting, Sean pulled his car over to watch it, the Highway 97 widening project, and Jessica spotted another disturbance. He snapped 11 photographs of the creature as it was surfacing near a boat. One of the pictures shows a tail or net-like object surfacing the water, while the others show the back and the head of the creature. Sean estimated the creature being about 18 to 20 feet long, based on the boat in the background. The photos were examined by many local experts, and all concluded that it didn't look like any known animal of the lake. Members of the show Monster Quest also studied the photographs and found no evidence of tampering. Descriptions have varied regarding Ogopogo, but certain characteristics have been repeated through the decades. Ogopogo is said to be green with a snail-like body, about 25 meters long. Some say its head looks like a horse, while others say that it's reptilian or goat-like. Still, over the years, different theories have been proposed as to what specifically people have been seeing. Some scientists have put forth the theory that Lake Oganapan creature is probably a form of a primitive whale. And that description of that primitive whale would agree with many descriptions of what many people have claimed to have seen. Other believers think that it could be some prehistoric dinosaur that has managed to seek out the shelter in this massive lake unhidden for years. However, skeptics think that the more recent sightings of Ogopogo were most likely something like waterfowl, otter, or beaver. Sturgeon are another popular suggestion for the skeptics. They are often mistaken as lake monsters, but believers point out their existence in Lake Oganapan is unclear. In fact, there is currently an unclaimed $10,000 reward for concrete evidence of a sturgeon in the lake. Benjamin Radford, a skeptic on the matter, points out that waterspouts are in the lake, and that activity may have led native tribes to believe that gods existed below the surface. Perhaps the individual with the most knowledge concerning the creature and sightings is Kilinoa resident Bill Stusek. He has become to be known as the Ogopogo Man and runs a website named www.ogopogoquest.com, where many reported sightings are archived. Stusek has been hoping to prove the existence of Ogopogo ever since he believed he saw the elusive legend in October of 1978. He and a group of believers have set out to prove scientifically that Ogopogo does indeed exist. Unlike many cryptids, there appears to be an overwhelming amount of evidence supporting that some creature does exist in the lake. There have been many eyewitness reports, often multiple witnesses together over the decades, and very often these reports are accompanied with photographic and video evidence. Investigations under the water, too, using devices such as sonar, have found suspicious activity, leading investigators to believe a large creature or creatures might be lurking around the waters. As the creature has continued to gain fame on an international scale, let's hope that the smoking gun, solid evidence, is one day finally found.